Hey there, good people. I am Scott, and this is Sword and Shield Studio, a channel dedicated to giving you your weekly dose of DaVinci Resolve tips, tricks, tutorials, and all things video. Right now, we're going to explore three-point editing in DaVinci Resolve and see how you can use that process to quickly bring in your favorite clips into your editing timeline. Right, so let's get right into it. Okay, I am in DaVinci Resolve now, where I have loaded up a bunch of clips in my media pool, as well as dropped a couple clips down here on my edit timeline. One way we can bring the remaining clips from my media pool into the timeline is with a three-point edit. A three-point edit is an edit where we create an in and out point in our source material in the source viewer to be placed at a third insert point at the playhead in our editing timeline. So firstly, I'm going to define in and out points on a clip so we can bring it into the editing timeline. So I will just double click clip 2 here to make it active and navigate to where I want the clip to begin and hit I on my keyboard to define the in point. Navigate a bit further, hit O on my keyboard to define the out point. Now that we have our in and out points selected for our footage, now we have to select the third point of our three-point edit where we want to insert our clip into the timeline. Move your playhead on the timeline where you want to place the clip. I will place mine about right here. If you need to change which track your edit will happen on, hold Ctrl-Shift and navigate with the up and down arrows on your keyboard until you have the track that you want to edit to highlighted in red. This means that it is the destination track for your edit. Now you are free to bring in your footage into the timeline with any one of the following edit operations. The first edit operation I'll be going over is insert, and it pretty much does what it says. It inserts your selected source material where your playhead is on your timeline and shifts all the surrounding footage and all the other media to the sides to accommodate for that. The keyboard shortcut to insert is F9, which I will do now, and you will see it inserted our footage right where our playhead was and shifted the remaining 001 footage to the right of that. Additionally, you can perform any one of the edits I'll be discussing today by dragging your footage from your source viewer over to your timeline viewer to the right, where you will see I have insert and all the other options available on the right here. Very useful if you don't remember the keyboard shortcuts or simply prefer to use your mouse to accomplish this. The next three-point edit option we have is Overwrite. Overwrite will place your footage at the selected point on your timeline and take the place of any underlying footage the same length of a clip. If an existing clip on your timeline is longer than the clip you intend to overwrite onto your timeline, it will only overwrite a section of that underlying clip. You can overwrite with F10 on your keyboard or the pop-out menu. Let's see how that works. So I will select just a small section of my footage here, define an out point by hitting O, and then we'll bring my playhead above clip 001 here and hit F10. Oh, and I see I brought it into track 1 by accident, so I'll Control Z to undo, and I will hold Control Shift and hit the up arrow to set my destination track to video 2 here on my timeline. And hit F10 again, and you will see I've overwritten that portion of this footage with the clip I had in my source viewer. Ripple Overwrite is the next option. This is similar to the basic overwrite feature, except if the existing clip under your playhead is longer than the clip that you're overwriting into your timeline, it will replace that clip in its entirety, and the surrounding clips will shift on your timeline to accommodate for this. You can access this option by hitting Shift F10 or again with the pop-out menu. Let's see how it works. I'm going to navigate to the center of clip 005 here and hit Shift 10 on my keyboard to perform a ripple overwrite on it. And you will see, since my clip that I was bringing in was shorter than the clip that existed there, it removed clip 005 and replaced it with the overwriting material that I was bringing in. Replace is the next option. This type of edit aligns the frame at the source viewer playhead with the frame at the timeline playhead. It is not required to set in and out points in the source viewer for this type of edit. However, you can set in and out points in the timeline to define which part of a clip you would like to replace. This one you can get to with F11 or again with the pop-out menu. So let's see really quick how replace works in practice. I want to take in this ocean footage I have loaded in my source viewer and bring it into my timeline just as this second wave starts to hit the coast. So I'll navigate to that point in the source viewer and hit I to define an endpoint where I want that clip to begin. Then I will navigate my timeline playhead where I want the cut to happen. So I'm just replacing this entire second clip here with the ocean clip. Now I'll hit F11 to perform the replace edit, and you will see it replaced the entirety of that second clip, and it started it at the same frame as my endpoint in the source viewer. Replace is a good option if you are trying to make an edit on a specific action in your footage. Next up is fit to fill. Now fit to fill is the only edit that uses all 4 edit points, an in and out on both the source viewer and the timeline. Doing this, you can stretch or compress the timing of the range of your source media to cover the specified range on your timeline. Shift F11 gets you the fit to fill edit, or again you can get to it through the pop-out menu. Now let's see how we might use fit to fill in practice. Let's say I want to use this clip of this drone footage on the coast at the very end of my project and really slow it down. Well, I can do all of that in one go by using fit to fill. The first thing I have to do is define in and out points in my source footage. So I'll go around here, hit I on my keyboard to define an in point, go where I want my footage to end, hit O to define an out point. Now I have to do the same thing on my timeline. Say I want my footage to extend from here. I will hit I to define that endpoint. I'll go about 15 seconds or so forward and hit O again to define an out point. Now I will hit Shift F11 to perform that fit to fill edit. And now what this has done is has brought in my footage and re-timed it at the same time. And of course this is really choppy. I could go into my inspector, turn on optical flow and better motion estimation, and it will look better. Place on top is the next option, and it's pretty simple. It will put your selected clip onto the first empty track above any other clips on your timeline. The function will create a new track to do this if none are available, or if you just have one track on your timeline. You can perform a place on top edit by hitting F12 or again with the pop-out menu. In practice, again, it's pretty simple. I'm going to take this clip here, define an in point by hitting I, an out point by hitting O, and let's say I want to bring it in here. I'll hit F12. And you'll see, since there was no track above my track, video track 2 here, it created a new track and placed my footage above it. It placed it on top, if you will. Last but not least is Append at End. This puts the edited clip at the very end of your current timeline. Very useful for editing a series of sequentially shot clips. Shift F12 will give you this option, or again, you can get to it through the pop-out menu. Just to see how this works, I will select the very end of this clip here and hit Shift F12, and you will see it has brought that clip to the very end of my timeline. Well, that does it for this tutorial. As you can see, 3-point edits in Resolve allow you to make changes to your footage directly in the source viewer. This way you're not stuck making a bunch of micro adjustments to clips that you've already placed in your timeline. But that's it from me. As always, thank you for watching this video. I hope the information contained within it was helpful for you, and I will see you next time.